This is the Shaver Prep Football Podcast, episode 32, season 2, presented by Aquarius Home Services and brought to you by Truestone Financial, 612 Quarterbacks, and powered by 10K Construction. Well, Mother Nature wreaked havoc on high school football on Friday night, suspending, delaying, postponing quite a few high school football games across the state because of rain and lightning. But a couple of big upsets to report. Alexandria knocked off the defending state 5A champion Elk River Elks. 52-16 was the final in that game. And Rosemount, who won just one football game all of last year, they're now 3-1 after they upset Shakopee on Friday night, 17-10. Our Talk North Walk the Talk winner this week is Minneapolis North quarterback Logan Lockermeyer, 26 of 30 passing for 347 yards and 4 touchdowns in a win over rival Washburn, 34-27. You are looking at the state's leading passer through 4 games of the high school football season, Logan Lockermeyer, the quarterback for Minneapolis North. Through the first 4 games, he is lighting it up, over 1,300 yards passing and 17 touchdowns, including a big night on Friday against Washburn. Logan, thanks for doing this very much. Tell me a little bit about just you. What do you think makes you a good quarterback?
I think one of my best attributes is I can stay pretty calm and poised in any situation. I mean, last night we had a great game against Washburn. We were actually down at one point, and just the ability to stay calm, rally our guys, and just really getting the ball in my playmakers' hands is just, yeah.
And you've got playmakers. There's no doubt about it. Between Jamarian and Anthony and guys like that, you've got all sorts of weapons around you. That must make life a little bit easier as a quarterback, knowing that even if you just throw the flat pass, it could turn into a long touchdown, right?
Yeah, for sure. As an offense, we love to just take what the defense gives us. I know if my guys got the ball in their hands, they always got a chance to score no matter who's around them.
26 of 30, 347 yards, 4 touchdown passes against Washburn. That's very efficient. Is that kind of your game? Is the game trying to be as efficient as possible, keeping the ball off the ground?
Yeah, for sure. That game was really a game of turnovers. They had 2. We didn't have any. Like I said, as an offense, just taking what the defense gives us. So their outside linebackers were kind of taking our run away a little bit. So we're just going to get the ball in our guys' hands and let them work.
So do you look at these stats? I mean, are you a stat guy? Do you pay attention to this? Or is the only number you care about is 4-0 so far this year?
For sure, 4-0 is the big one. Always winning no matter what is better than everything else. But looking at these stats, it definitely, you want to play better. I had a pretty good game last night, but there's always room for improvement. So
these numbers are pretty staggering. When you started this season, did you have any sort of goals or expectations in mind about, I know you want to win. I'm talking about you as an individual. Did you have goals or numbers in mind that you were hoping to reach or are hoping to reach?
Yeah, for sure. Me and the receivers have a bet with our coach OA, and if we get 40 touchdowns before the season's over, he's going to take us all out to dinner. So that was a good one. And then the other main one is just not turning the ball over. I did that too much last year. So that's a big one I'm working on for this year.
Well, so far only 3 interceptions, 2 in one game, none against Washburn. So you're finding that to come true. Tell me a little bit more about this bet. Now, is it 40 touchdowns in the regular season or 40 touchdowns through the playoffs and all of the games?
It is through the playoffs and all the games, but I'd said the other day, I was like, I think we can get this in the regular season it'll be close, but
how are your receivers? Talk a little bit about the guys that you throw to. What makes them special?
Yeah, for sure. Number 1, Jay, he's an amazing athlete. his ability to stop and go is just like nobody else really. And he always knows what he's doing too, which is it's a big deal. And then number two, Ant, put a lot of work in with him this winter. He actually didn't play basketball last year, so he was at my house a lot of the winter, weight room, really getting that connection. Number three, one you don't see as much, Q. He's our starting corner. He also stays with me right now, but him knowing what he's doing, I always can throw him in there on offense. Number five, my cousin Ronell, he had a big game last night, stepped up when we needed him to, since we had some guys hurt. Uh, he's great with the ball in his hands. And then six, Corday starts at safety, can put him at any position on the field. Smartest guy out there. He always knows what he's doing. And then Jeremiah, number eight. It's so hard for a defense when he's destroying people in the run game and then can go catch a 50-yard touchdown pass. He had 2 touchdowns last night. Just dominant.
So you guys get St. Paul Johnson next at home. This I was talking to Charles Adams at your game. He was thinking this could be maybe a preview to the Twin Cities championship game, possibly, because Johnson's having a good year too. Tell me about just your mindset heading into that football game on Friday.
Yeah, they're a good team. Little different. We want to get the run game going this week. We struggled a little bit against Washburn in that, so I think we'll have a good running game, and we are expecting to see them again. So, an important game.
Well, congratulations for the start so far. You're just ripping it up. I'll give the numbers out again. 1,306 yards passing, 17 touchdowns, averaging 326 yards a game. The passer ratings at 140. And quite honestly, there's really not anyone close to those numbers right now across the state. So congratulations. You're off to a great start. Keep it up.
Will do. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Logan, very much. 2 more big football wins of note from last week. The Albert Lee Tigers are now 4-0 after beating Worthington 42-0. It's the first time that Albert Lee has started the season 4-0 since 1989, 36 years. And the Buffalo Bison in Class 5A knocked off Armstrong 27-21 in an upset, and they are now 3-1 on the football season. And that leads me to their former head coach and former Minnesota Viking quarterback, Todd Bouman. Well, Todd Bauman's football journey has been all over the place, up and down, different cities, different teams. But you've had a lot of experience. You've made an impact on a lot of people. And I'm really looking forward to talking to you. Thanks for doing this. If I remember right, I think I met you when you signed with the Vikings in 1997. That was the start of the NFL journey. 13 years, 7 different teams. Is it true that you were on Jacksonville's roster 5 different times?
I think it was, yeah.
What? Is that like a record in the NFL?
It must have been. I think so. Yeah, it was back and forth many times.
What was that? What was going on there?
Well, I just think at that time, I was there, and then at that time was when they started taking away the 3rd and 4th quarterback. So all of a sudden, I was the odd man out. They brought Cleo Lemon in from Miami, and I was sent home. And then a couple of weeks later, I was on the tractor at my dad's farm and called me, said, "Hey, we want you back on Tuesday," and flew back down. I didn't find out till I was landing in Chicago that both of those guys were hurt, and I was going to start. That was my last start in the NFL.
My God.
In Kansas City.
Oh, my God.
Yes, in Kansas City. Yeah, I'll never forget that.
So what was that like? You bounce around a little bit. You never really quite, establish yourself as a starter anywhere. But that's okay too, because you built a resume over a long period of time.
Yeah, I think I was very blessed and lucky. I think it was one of those things. Like I was trying to taught my high school kids, in 13 years, I was never late for a meeting because I was just deathly afraid if I was late one time, I was going to get cut. It just taught you a lot of different things about the sport and how you grew up. But yeah, traveling around like the Jacksonville thing, I think I was lucky because I was there enough times, and people, I said, "How did you play a game?" Well, I knew the offense. So literally I got there the first day, stepped in the huddle and called the play because you've been there.
Right.
So, those types of situations are different, and I'd say they're hard to get used to. But as you get older and you've been a veteran for a while, it becomes easier.
We should point out that you played football at St. Cloud State. They no longer have football.
Oh gosh, that's a whole nother subject.
I know, it's a whole nother subject. But you play football there, and then your first team in the NFL is the Vikings. That must have been just like crazy, like an out-of-body experience.
Yeah, it was. I mean, you grew up in Minnesota, you're a Vikings fan, and you always dream of playing for your hometown team. And it was funny because Scott Stidwell came and worked me out in Minnesota at St. Cloud.
Were his eyes like this? Where you're like, oh my God, those eyes will kill you.
Yeah. Well, the funny part was I had two of my receivers from college that were supposed to show up and catch. Well, they weren't there. So Stud had to catch, and one of the first passes I throw goes through his hands, hits a glass case in the field house, and shatters the glass case in the field house. I was like, oh, this is not going good. And actually, after that workout, I had never had any communication with them after that. And there was other teams that had communicated with me. So when the draft was just about done, they'd called and said, hey, as soon as this is over, we want to sign you. I was like, great, hometown, get to stay home. Like it was a dream come true.
And you played over in Europe, right?
Yep. After the '98 season, when we got beat in the NFC Championship, I went over to NFL Europe and played for Barcelona over there.
What was that like?
It was awesome. I mean,
really?
I mean, obviously, me and Courtney got married right after college, and she was there with me the whole time for 3 months, just traveling around Europe. And I mean, it was like being in college, but not having to go to class. And it was awesome.
What would you say your best moment as a pro? As you look back, was there one game, one moment that was like, wow?
Well, obviously, I think, if you look at one game, was obviously, a kid that grew up in Minnesota gets to play for his hometown team. And my first start was, 348 yards and 4 touchdowns at home. And I mean, it was amazing. But I that's the one game, the one thing. But like, it's the locker room and all those things that you miss the most.
Yeah. So you play football at St. Cloud State. You played basketball too, right?
Correct.
Did you play both?
I did.
As a college?
Yes.
How did you pull that off?
I don't know, in all honesty. So I actually went to South Dakota State for my freshman year. Because both my older brothers were there. One was a starting quarterback, and then Troy was a starting point guard in the basketball team. So I went there actually on a basketball scholarship. My oldest brother, Shane, just got done playing football. I wanted to go out for spring football. I just missed it so much, and they told me I had to pick one or the other. And when St. Cloud recruited me out of high school, they told me they'd let me play both if I ended up coming there. So that's how I ended up there.
What kind of basketball player were you?
I mean, in all honesty, in college, I didn't have a great college career. But it was fun. I had some really good buddies, and we'd lose 1 or 2 games that just kept us out of getting into the playoffs. But I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Yeah. If you think about this, you go from St. Cloud State to the NFL. That's crazy. At any time in life, but don't you think? I mean,
you
must have done. You must have really developed as a quarterback.
Oh, for sure.
In college.
Yeah.
For that to.
And I think I gave, Coach Green a lot of credit for that. He saw me as more of an athlete at the time. I remember my rookie year in training camp, he had me running down covering punts and things like that just to see what kind of athlete I was going to be. And obviously playing both, kind of made me into a different type of player. And then, kept me on the practice squad the first year until Brad Johnson got hurt and then got moved up for the playoffs and those things. So I think it was just a situation where, I think he could see me in the long term as being somebody that could, move up the depth chart as time went on.
You were a dual threat quarterback at Ruthton, right?
Yeah. I mean, that was before it was a thing. Yeah. Dual threat before was a thing.
Because you could run.
Yeah.
I mean,
I would say it was definitely a thing before it was actually had a name for it.
Yeah. So describe your high school experience, because this is a high school football podcast. The players, coaches watch this. What was your high school experience like? What was Friday nights like at RTR?
It was electric. You know what? I was thinking about that when I was getting ready to come here yesterday, flying home on the plane. It was just all of those memories. And I think I've told you this before. When I coached high school football, I would tell the kids, like, you'll never experience this ever again in your life.
That's right.
And I get it's probably different around here, but where I grew up, I mean, at 2 p.m, you saw the local people coming back in their pickup trucks in and putting their lawn chairs in the back, because it was such a small high school. And I had great high school coaches, and it's the kids that you grow up with, since you're little kids,
right?
And whether it was a neighboring town, you did swimming lessons against those kids and all of those things. It's just, Friday nights is just something different. And I'll always say it. I was blessed and lucky enough to play at college in the NFL, but there's just something different about Friday nights.
So you take over the head coaching job at Buffalo High School in 2014. You coach your son, Aiden, and Aiden smashes all sorts of state records as a thrower. Was that the best time when you guys were together on the sidelines?
For sure. Me and my wife talk about this all the time. Those times, my daughter was in high school and she was playing volleyball, and you get done with football practice on Tuesday and Thursday and run to her volleyball games. And then, Friday nights with Aiden on Friday nights, just those hectic and chaotic times. But it's just, those are the memories that you'll never, ever replace. And I would go back to those days.
Yeah. Did you love coaching high school football? What did you love about it the most? What was kind of the grind of it, maybe, that got to you a little bit?
I absolutely loved every second of it. I really did. Obviously, there's probably little pieces here and there, of rounding up all the equipment and all that, just a little behind the scenes. Oh my gosh. Yeah. But I had great assistant coach. No, but I mean, it's just all those little things. But other than that, like just watching the kids grow and watching them, how they change as they mature. And I mean, obviously those few years were just an absolute highlight on Friday nights, and it was fun to be a part of. He's
still playing, Aiden. I mean, COVID and everything he started at Iowa State. He's at South Dakota now. It's crazy. He's 23. Yeah. He's still playing college football. Yeah. Can you wait for this season? Are you excited to watch
I'm super excited. Yeah. It's just, you know as well as I do. I mean, your own accomplishments are great, regardless of what they were, but there's nothing better than watching your kids have fun and succeed. And it's going to be a fun year. And, their first game is at Iowa State, so it should be interesting.
Because that's where he signed with right out of high school.
Correct.
To go play there. Yeah. What are his best qualities as a quarterback? Because he's got a super great arm, can really sling it. But there's more to playing, as you know, more to playing quarterback than just that.
Well, I think he's grown up around the game. So, I mean, I've said this numerous times, his mental game is far beyond anything I've ever been around. I mean, he's just so smart, knowing where the ball is supposed to go. And, as he's gotten older, he's just, he's obviously got married last summer, a year ago. And he's just a super kid, a great leader. I think he just makes everybody around him that much better.
All right. So you're a high school, former head high school football coach, but a quarterback coach. Quarterbacks are out there watching this show. Young guys, they want to play quarterback. They want to be good at that position. What are the things that they should be thinking about, working on, doing right now to focus on to be a great quarterback?
Number one, obviously, I think is leader. You have to make everybody else around. You have to have those guys feed off of your energy, whether you're a vocal guy or a non-vocal guy. And then like the thing I stated about just understanding the game, the ins and outs, exactly how everything needs to be done. It's such a big part of the game. And some guys, I feel like maybe they scramble because they don't understand the mental part of it. They drop back, okay, this guy's not open, now I'm going to scramble around and make a play. Where it's, the greats, the Peyton Mannings, the Tom Brady's, it's literally 1, 2, 3. They know where the ball's going before the time the ball's even snapped. I think those are some of the biggest attributes. And then I think I got this one from watching Michael Jordan in The Last Dance. He says, I never told anybody they had to do something I never did. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's regardless if you're the first one there, the last one to leave, you know what I mean? Just don't ask your teammates to do something that you're not willing to do.
I appreciate you doing this.
Awesome. Thanks Randy. Appreciate it.
We'll be right back. It's football season, and you need to call an audible on what's going on in your utility room. Coach Shaver here with a great game plan from Aquarius Home Services. Let's call a reverse on that cranky furnace, flea flicker those flickering lights, and throw a Hail Mary on that water heater. Aquarius has the right play. $98 off any furnace, electrical, or plumbing repair. You can gritty your way into the end zone. Go to AquariusHomeservices.com today. Aquarius, earning the right to be recommended. 10K Construction is your one stop for all your general contracting needs, whether interior, exterior, residential, commercial, or multifamily properties. They build relationships with their clients, and that's how they've grown their business through referrals. Plus, they are teaming up with LP SmartSide to become Minnesota's premier siding installer. And they're also partnering with IKO Shingles as well. They've got the best of the best to do the job right. 10K Construction covers both Minnesota and Wisconsin. Now, the rumor is they charge a little extra because it's Packer land. I'm not sure about that, but what I am sure about, 10K Construction is the company you want handling all of your general contracting needs. Go to 10kconstruction.com for details. It was 3 years ago this month when Ethan Glynn's life changed forever. The 15-year-old suffered a spinal cord injury attempting to make a tackle in his first ever freshman football game for Bloomington Jefferson. The freak accident resulted in Ethan being paralyzed from the neck down. But the story doesn't end there. Ethan has shown sheer willpower to move his life forward and to help others along the way. And Ethan and Corey are joining me here in studio. Great to see you guys again. I covered Ethan's story in 2022, not long after the accident happened. I joined you guys out in Denver as you began your rehabilitation. Seems like a long time ago, but I'm sure for you, it's probably not. I guess the obvious question is, how are you? How are you right now, today?
Really good. It's in a month, I think it's about 3 years, and it's gone extremely fast. Like, I feel like my freshman year was yesterday.
Yeah.
But been staying busy. PT ever since I've been back, like nonstop. And then just trying to find different things to do to stay busy.
If I have this right, this will be your senior year coming up.
Yeah.
So looking forward to your senior year?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But at the same time, it's like, after this year, it's like, it's over. Like,
right.
Everybody splits up. Like, so I'm excited, but like,
yeah,
I'm also like curious to see where everyone goes and what they do.
And you have such a tight group of friends. You've had that group of friends since freshman year.
Yeah, I've probably had the same. It's a giant group of friends. It's like probably 15 to 20 of us that have known each other and been friends for probably 10 years.
Yeah.
And like, we're all pretty tight. So it's been great to have them through the whole like journey.
For those that don't know, Ethan played football. You also played hockey. So you had that athlete's mentality. How did that help you over the last few years kind of figure out your life to this point?
I think starting like with the injury, your coaches always tell you like effort, attitude, or like resiliency. And those were literally the three biggest things during my injury and like carrying on afterwards were the three biggest things, like keeping my mindset good, just keep being resilient, have a good attitude, and then the rest will come with it.
And that to me, Corey, has been the kind of the underlying story of him is his attitude, right? Because it could have gone so many different directions, but that's been the constant.
It has
in all of this.
To your point, it could have gone a much different route.
Yeah,
a much darker route, and he made the decision early on that he wasn't going to change the way he looks at things, his positivity. He always says, "I'm the same Ethan. I just do things a little differently now."
Right.
And he starts every day with a smile, and he keeps all of us in check. And it makes things. It's pretty hard to have a bad day when he's having a great day. That's never changed.
He's kind of your backseat driver when you have to.
He's literally my backseat driver. Trust me.
Yeah, I do backseat drive sometimes.
You do that, don't you?
He did it on the way here.
I've seen some video, Ethan, of you at Courage Kenny, your rehabilitation process. Can you describe what you go through on a daily basis, trying to help? Because I notice you don't have a strap anymore for the chest. That has helped you become stronger to handle all the things you have to handle.
So I go there 3 times a week, and Mondays is more, I sit on a mat and there's someone behind me, someone in front of me, and they try to sit me up and I try to find my balance. Like they try to like work off of me, for my core. And then I can get it to where nobody's touching me and I can balance for like 5 minutes without anyone touching. But when I first started, I could probably get it for 5 seconds. So like that's come a long way. And then we just started doing on Tuesdays, they put me in like a standing frame.
Yep.
So it stands me up and then they'll lean me forward and then there's stim. So like electrolysis that like flexes my body and then they'll lean me forward and it will turn the stim on and I try to bring my head up and the stim helps me like kind of do like it helps me do like sit-ups and extensions. So, and then we also do an hour on a treadmill. So I get in a harness and people step my legs.
I've seen that video. They move your legs. Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it is kind of, I heard you say it feels like I'm floating.
Yeah.
When they do that.
Because it's just like, I'm just like bobbing. But like, it's fun though. Because like everyone's talking like, but it goes quick. It's 3 hours, but it goes quick.
When you watched all this, I mean, considering where you were 3 years ago,
It's pretty incredible.
it is pretty incredible.
I started going, older brother Parker was taking him last summer. So I actually started taking him in September. So he already made progress by the time I saw what he was up to.
Yeah.
And I was pretty blown away to see what he could do. It was pretty emotional those first few times to kind of visually watch him doing something that he hadn't done in a while. But he works, man. He has that same look in his eyes that he did when he was on the rink or on the field. And he uses that same focus at this now. And it's a privilege to watch him go through this.
I have talked to Ethan a couple of different times about the accident itself on that day in September 2nd of 2022. For those maybe who have not heard you talk about that, just describe what happened that day.
So it was my first freshman game, first high school game, and it was the 11th play of the game. And then I was playing cornerback. They did a QB run to the right, and then I threw my guy off, and then
To make a tackle.
to make the tackle, and then, I mean, rest is history.
Kind of stumbled a little bit.
Yeah.
You lost your balance going into
When I threw the guy off, like I was off balance, and right when I threw him off, the quarterback was right there, and then I kind of was like kind of stumbling when I hit him.
Yeah.
And then just fell on my side and couldn't move, and then put me on my back. And then from there to the hospital felt like the longest time.
I bet.
Even though it wasn't that long, but it felt like forever.
Right.
Yeah.
And so from that point until now, here we are. It seems like, and you make me laugh because you know, I've known you for in and out of 3 years, and you look great, but progress. I mean, as bad as that day was, it feels like life is better.
Yeah.
You know, in that sense that
It is.
because independence has always been the conversation. How can Ethan become more independent?
And for the majority of the day, he is.
Yeah.
Between technology and the changes we did at the house, he can go throughout his day not necessarily needing us, and physically just watching him be able to control his body a little bit more.
Yeah.
Especially in the core. He can move his arm a little more, but the core is the big thing. Like you mentioned, the strap.
Yeah.
A lot of times he'll lean forward and he can stay there, and it almost looks like, a year ago he would have fell.
Yeah.
And now he can just push himself back again.
Yeah.
So watching that and seeing that as kind of the new norm now, and knowing we're not done yet and we're not at that finish line, and knowing his determination, it's a fun show to watch because he really works at it. And in that year, the progress he's made, it's pretty amazing. And even going farther back, going back to the first time me and Parker flew out to see him at Craig.
Yep.
He still had the neck brace on.
Yeah, I remember.
You kind of didn't really want to touch him because you thought you'd break him. To now, we're not near as gentle with him anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's a good thing, right? I mean, it's more Ethan.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Minnesota State High School League changed the insurance rules after Ethan's accident, and this fall, for the first time, freshman athletes in high school will be covered with the catastrophic insurance. Talk a little bit about that and maybe what you feel you guys' role was in getting that to happen.
Yeah, so going into this upcoming school year, any city that is large enough to be able to field the 9th grade team in any sport, they'll be covered by the catastrophic insurance policy. When Ethan was injured, being on a 9th grade team for Bloomington,
right,
he wasn't covered. He didn't fall underneath that coverage at all. So a lot of the things that if he was a sophomore or on a JV team would have been covered, we've kind of had to do that out of pocket. So it's been a long road. A lot of different meetings, time spent at the Capitol, working towards fixing a huge wrong and making it right. It doesn't necessarily fix our result, but for the next Ethan or the next person out there, knowing that we had a part in getting this rectified it's a good feeling.
And that's kind of where you guys are right now in your lives. It's paying forward is not the correct thing, but you are finding ways to give back through the situation that you've been through, not only with the insurance, but you have a foundation now where you guys are raising money to help others. What's it called? Who do you support and how can people find it?
Yeah, so we named it Just Be Great. Ethan was always number 8. Yep, yeah. He was always number 8, so we did GR8, Just Be Great Foundation. And really the focus is, Parker and Ethan came to me and Cassie, and they reminded us that we wouldn't be where we were without the help of the community, without the help of strangers, lifting us up and pulling us forward. And we wanted to pay that back and do that for the next people that may not know where to turn to.
Yeah.
So our focus really is around any families that are going through life-changing events, life-changing medical crisis, and spinal cord research, to be able to be there for them, to lend an ear. We've done a few fundraisers over the past 9 months that we were able to help some families out and put them in a better situation. We were able to give back to Denver Divers when he did the dive.
I remember.
We were able to be in Colorado and present them with a check with the amount we gave them, it's going to allow another family like ours to be able to experience what Ethan got to experience.
That's
so
great.
it's been a lot of work, but it's so rewarding to be able to pay it back in such a familiar way.
Yeah. How about for you? How important has this foundation been for you too?
For me, the most important thing is just like when I was injured, knowing what it's like to like be in that spot. And like I got help when I was in Colorado from a foundation and just from a lot of people. And to be able to be one of the major people that are helping someone, like I just know like how far that can go for somebody.
Yeah. I have just 2 questions left for you. Are you still an Alabama fan?
Indeed, yeah.
God, how bad? I mean, are you there again this fall? Will you be at a game?
Yeah. Once a year for sure.
Yep.
Do you still get letters and Alabama paraphernalia and all that?
Usually on holidays.
That's mostly holidays. There's one elementary school in Alabama that since he was injured, so for years now, every month they send him a card and it's usually a picture that the kids drew for him.
It's really cool.
That's
every month.
That's great.
It's really cool.
And my second thing is, one thing that I was astonished by when I saw you early after all this happened was your ability to play video games.
Yeah.
Are you still killing your brother in the video games?
Every video game. I don't think he's
So describe to folks how you do that. I mean, it's through the mouthpiece, right?
So there's a mouthpiece. It's kind of hard to explain. There's like 3 little holes in the mouthpiece, and you do like different combinations, sipping and puffing into them, and it does different buttons.
That's just
But it's only one like joystick, so I have to like. It's hard, but I got used to it pretty quick. I beat my brother in every sports game,
Not just Parker.
Yeah, I beat all my friends. Most of them.
One of the beauties of the last few years has been the rehabilitation of your home to allow Ethan to have complete access to the first floor of your home. And you all are under one roof. That's been a big thing, right?
It was. We were from that day he was injured, we were splintered a little bit until really Christmas Eve of 2023. We had to rent an apartment. We had him in Colorado for 3 months, Parker back here finishing up his senior year.
Yep.
So it was discombobulated, to say the least. And that first night that we were all in the house was pretty magical. It was Christmas Eve. And
That's fabulous.
To be able to kind of go to bed that night and have everybody on the roof and wake up all together.
Yeah.
It's been a blessing for sure.
Well, I appreciate you guys coming in and doing this and talking about your foundation and the great work that you guys are doing. Keep it up. Thank you for doing this. It's great to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too.
You look great.
Thank you.
Because the first time I met you, you were very thin.
Yes.
And you look full.
I was under 100 pounds.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you look great. So keep up the good work and keep working hard.
Thank you.
Thanks. We'll be right back. This episode is brought to you by 612 Quarterbacks, Minnesota's premier quarterback development program. At 612 Qs, they're committed to creating a high-quality quarterback development program, both affordable and accessible. Their training goes beyond the basics, not only focusing on proper throwing mechanics and footwork, but also building strong football IQ, leadership, and resilience. Their mission is to educate, inspire, and challenge athletes to raise their standards on the field and in life. Through training and mentorship, they're building more than quarterbacks. They're building a community rooted in growth, accountability, and shared success. Learn more today at 612quarterbacks.com. These days, you can get a checking account, a credit card, or a mortgage just about anywhere. But what you can't always find is the personal touch of a neighborhood credit union like True Stone Financial. I've known the folks at True Stone for many years. They put people first. They take time with you, they get to know you, and they use their expertise to connect with the services that help achieve your financial well-being. True Stone is a not-for-profit financial institution owned by the very people they serve, and they're in your neighborhood. Visit truestone.org and get to know them. They can't wait to meet you. True Stone is an equal housing opportunity lender. Our Talk North Games of the Week in Class 3A. Annandale travels to Holy Family Friday night, September 26th. Both teams undefeated, and it's a likely section battle preview. And in Greater Minnesota, a huge matchup in Albert Lee as the surprising undefeated Tigers host Fairmont. The Shaver Prep Football Podcast drops every Monday, and you can catch us on YouTube and where podcasts can be found. My thanks to producer Alex Haugen and the great folks at Talk North. Thanks for watching and listening, and we'll see you again next week.